Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're jumping into something really fascinating, a concept that promises to, well, really boost efficiency. It's all about delivering what's needed exactly when it's needed.
Just in time, or JIT systems.
Exactly, JIT. We're drawing from our source, OpEx Develop JIT, which is, a guide to operational excellence.
A really solid source for this.
Yeah, so our mission today is really to unpack this whole approach, get into its core ideas, and see how it can genuinely change things. From big manufacturing floors, maybe even down to how you handle your own projects day to day.
Like a shortcut to getting things running smoother.
You got it, a strategic shortcut.
And what's really interesting, I think, is that it sounds simple on the surface, right?
Totally.
Delivers what is needed, when it is needed, no more, no less. But that phrase packs a lot in. It's not just about going fast.
Yeah.
No, it's fundamentally about right first-time quality. That's key.
Yeah.
And making sure the product flows exactly when it is needed in the amount that it is needed. We'll dig into why this seemingly basic idea has such a huge impact.
Okay, let's get into that core idea then, just in time. So delivering exactly what's needed, when it's needed, no extra, no shortage.
Precisely.
And you mentioned right first-time quality. That feels absolutely critical, doesn't it? Like if things aren't reliable, the whole thing falls apart.
That's a huge point.
Yeah.
Without that inherent quality, a system built on minimal buffers, it just wouldn't work. It really demands a level of precision.
Okay. So to really get JIT, you said it's different from like the traditional way.
Exactly. We need to contrast it. Most older systems, or maybe less optimized ones, run on what we call a push system.
Push system.
Yeah. Basically, work gets pushed to the next step, whether that step is ready or not, regardless of its capacity. Think of a factory line where one station just makes its part and shoves it downstream. You often end up with these big piles of half-finished stuff accumulating between steps.
Right. I can picture that.
Yeah.
And doesn't having all that extra stuff, those buffers, doesn't that actually hide problems? Make it harder to see what's really wrong?
You absolutely hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
A push system, yeah, it leads to high stock levels, lots of extra handling.
More work,
and it definitely hides the real issues. Those piles of inventory mean problems don't immediately stop the line. So you need more storage space, more people managing stock, higher chance of damage.
Sounds inefficient.
It often is.
Right.
Very inefficient, very costly. Problems fester until they become massive.
Okay, so the opposite then, the JIT way, is a pull system. How does that flip the script? It sounds like it forces those problems out into the open.
It does, intentionally.
Yeah.
A pull system works more like you at the supermarket. You pull what you need off the shelf when you need it.
Yeah.
So work only gets pulled through the system when the next stage signals it's ready. And it moves the pace of the slowest part of the process, the bottleneck.
Right.
And that naturally means much lower inventory, lower costs.
Yeah.
And crucially, because there isn't much buffer, problems surface immediately. They have to be fixed. They can't be hidden. It's like an instant feedback mechanism.
That makes a lot of sense. We sort of set the stage, the philosophy behind it, but, for anyone listening, the why is often the big thing. Beyond the theory, what are the real tangible wins? Why go through the effort?
No, the why is very compelling. The source lists some major advantages. We're talking reduced operational costs, significantly lower overheads, and much less cash tied up in inventory holdings.
That sounds good already.
It does. But beyond the cost savings, you also get faster response times, reacting quicker to customers or market shifts, and ultimately much higher customer satisfaction.
Better, faster, cheaper almost.
In a nutshell, yeah. It's about efficiency, agility, and just meeting customer needs way more effectively.
So when you hear those benefits, less cost, quicker response, happier customers, it really makes you think, doesn't it? How could these apply in your own world, maybe your business, your projects, even just managing your to-do list?
Absolutely. These principles are surprisingly versatile.
And if those benefits sound good, if you're thinking, okay, how do I do this? What's the roadmap? How do you actually start implementing JIT? The guide lays out some steps.
It does. A pretty clear path. Step one is foundational. You absolutely have to understand the demand rate for the product or item. You can't optimize flow if you don't know what's actually needed and how fast.
Makes sense. Know your target.
Exactly. Second, you need to develop a system to monitor performance. Measure what matters because you can't improve what you don't measure.
Right.
And in JIT, measurement is everything.
Right.
Third, develop a system to manage material flow. This is the nuts and bolts, the physical movement, the coordination.
Okay.
And finally, step four, improve the systems constantly. JIT isn't a one-and-done thing. It's a continuous journey of refinement.
And I remember the source really stressing something underpinning all this, understanding the value chain. It's not just about tweaking one little part, is it?
No, not at all. You have to see the whole picture, the entire interconnected process from the very start, like raw materials, all the way to the customer getting the final product. That holistic view is essential for JIT to truly work.
Got it. So understand demand, the value chain, then you need to know if it's working. How do you measure success in JIT? The source mentioned some key indicators, like Takt Time.
Yes, takt time, that's like the heartbeat of your JIT system.
The heartbeat. Okay, explain that a bit more. How do you figure it out, and why is sticking to it so important?
So takt time is defined as the pace of production set by the customer demand rate. It's the drumbeat, keeping everything synchronized to what the customer actually wants.
Yeah.
Let's say customers demand one widget every 5 minutes. Your takt time is 5 minutes. You calculate it by dividing your available production time by the customer demand during that time. It sets the rhythm for everything, making sure you produce just enough, not too much, not too little. It's the customer's pace driving your internal operations.
So it connects production directly to demand. What about inventory? Since JIT aims to minimize it, how do you measure that?
Good question. We look at inventory measures. Things like days supply, how many days could you operate with the inventory you have right now? In JIT, you want that number low.
Lower the better.
Right. And also inventory turns, which shows how often you cycle through your inventory over a period. Here, you want a higher number. It shows things are moving quickly, not sitting around.
Okay, low days supply, high turns. Got it. And then there was that combined one, DIFOTIS. Sounds like an acronym.
It is. DIFOTIS stands for Delivered in Full, On Time, in Spec.
In full, on time, in spec. Okay.
It's a really crucial holistic measure because, remember, JIT relies on things working smoothly, near perfectly.
Ah, right. The right first-time idea again.
Exactly. Think about it like this. Say you need ingredients for dinner. You get 95% of what you ordered, not quite in full. They arrive 95% on schedule, not quite on time. And 95% of them are fresh, not quite in spec.
Yeah, dinner might be tricky.
Right. The source uses that math. 95% times 95% times 95%. Suddenly you're down to only 85% overall quality or success.
Wow. Yeah, it drops fast.
It really does. So DIFOTIS highlights that you need excellence across all those areas for JIT to deliver what the customer expects consistently.
That's a really clear way to put it. And thinking about problems, what are those common Stark issues JIT tries to fix? The everyday frustrations.
Oh, yeah. JIT directly tackles those things that drive everyone crazy with inventory and flow. You know the one, it's too slow, it's too fast, there's too much, we don't have enough. Where is the darn thing?
Huh. Yes, I know those questions well.
JIT aims to eliminate that chaos, bring precision, and stop resources being wasted just waiting or searching.
Okay, so you measure to find the problems, then you need to manage the flow. This is where some of the classic JIT tools come in, right? Like the supermarket idea. Sounds retail.
It does, but it's more strategic than just shopping. Think of it as a small controlled buffer.
Okay.
It's a designated spot holding a specific limited amount of stock between two processes. But the key is, it's designed to be pulled from by the next step, the downstream customer.
Pulled. How does that work visually?
When that downstream process takes an item, the empty space left behind is the signal. It immediately tells the upstream process, hey, make one more of these or move one more here. No complex scheduling needed. The inventory itself becomes the signal.
Clever, like a self-regulating system.
Exactly. The source mentions a coin manufacturer, a mint. Their supermarket might be limited by the size of coin boxes. When a box is used up, that empty space triggers making or moving another box. It's a clear physical pull signal.
Simple but effective. Okay, so the supermarket holds the parts. Then there's Kanban, probably the most famous JIT tool.
Definitely the most well-known. Kanban literally means sign or card in Japanese.
Sign or card.
And it acts as a trigger, a signal to make or replenish material. Now, it's really important the source stresses this. Kanban is not a scheduling system.
Not scheduling.
It's a production control system. It uses takt time to define when to produce something based on actual consumption, not on a forecast weeks out. A Kanban signal basically means, make this now, it just got used.
Real-time demand signal. What are the big advantages of using Kanban then?
Well, first, it directly helps limit inventory buildup, which is core to JIT. It also drastically reduces the need for complex, often wrong, internal forecasts and schedules. simplifies things a lot.
Less guesswork.
Much less guesswork.
Right.
And it cuts down delays between processes because the signals are clear and immediate about what's needed next. It's like a fast communication network.
Okay, this is where it gets detailed because the source listed a whole bunch of different types of Kanban. Why so many variations?
Think of them as different tools for slightly different jobs, different flavors of signal optimized for this situation.
Makes sense. Give us some examples.
Okay, so you have the Kanban post. That's often like a physical mailbox or board where cards wait to be picked up. Good for coordinating. A production Kanban specifically tells a process to make a certain number of parts.
Okay, make this.
Then there's a withdrawal Kanban. This tells someone, maybe a material handler, to move existing parts from a supermarket to the process that needs them.
So one makes, one moves. Clear distinction.
Exactly. Then you get more visual types. Signal Kanban, or triangle Kanban, often use shapes or colors for quick visual cues.
At a glance.
Right. The multi-bin Kanban system is pretty neat. You have maybe 2 bins of parts. When the front one is empty, removing the empty bin itself is the signal to refill it. Super intuitive on the floor.
Yeah, that seems very practical.
There's also inline Kanban, where maybe an empty marked square on the floor triggers production. A red label Kanban system. And today, of course, e-Kanbans are huge, using RFID tags, barcodes, electronic signals.
Automating the signal.
Precisely, speeding things up. We even see project scheduling Kanban systems used in offices now for managing tasks visually. The source even mentioned a steel mill example. Imagine using Kanban to coordinate those huge, complex movements in heavy industry. It's about applying the principle everywhere.
Wow, that's quite a range. So basically all these different Kanbans are just smarter ways to signal real demand, fitted to the context, whether it's a card or an empty space or an electronic blip.
You got it. The right signal, right place, right time.
Are there other ways to manage flow besides Kanban that fit with JIT?
Yeah, a couple others worth mentioning. CONWIP system stands for constant work in process. It's slightly different. Instead of signaling individual items like Kanban often does, CONWIP limits the total amount of work allowed in the system at once. It's another way to control flow and prevent pileups.
Okay, controlling the total volume.
Right. And then there's FIFO, first in, first out systems. Pretty straightforward concept. The first item into a process or storage area is the first one out.
Ensures nothing gets old or stuck at the back.
Exactly. Great for managing flow, essential for stock age if things are perishable or have shelf lives. And it also helps limit how much inventory you can physically store if you design the FIFO lane correctly. The source talks about deep lane FIFO systems or specific lane systems for this. Think of loading from the back and picking from the front.
Crucial for things like food or pharmaceuticals, I imagine.
Absolutely. Keeps things fresh, prevents obsolescence.
And one more piece. The source mentioned the runner, a human role in this.
Yes, the runner is often the person who actually moves the Kanban cards or the materials between the supermarket and the process or between processes. They physically connect the system, making sure the signals are seen and acted on. The human element keeping the pull going.
Right, keeping the gears turning. So we have all these tools, these concepts. How do you actually implement this? The source talked about a workplace project approach. Sounds very hands-on.
It is. Very structured. The idea is you pick a specific work area and your project goal is clear. Implement JIT to reduce and manage inventory there. And it breaks it down into 3 key phases to show you how.
Okay, phase 1, part 1. Design the JIT system or improvements. Sounds like the planning stage.
Totally. This is where you do the groundwork. You identify everyone involved in that value chain segment, and critically, you talk to them, consult them early on, get their input.
Buy-in is key.
Huge. Then you map out the current situation. Where is inventory stored now? How much? You figure out your signals, the flow authorization indicators, what tells things to move.
Okay.
You need to know your production capability, min and max rates, calculate the lead time for the JIT items, and then get specific. How many Kanban cards or bins do you need? How many units per card or bin? Finally, you draft the actual procedures for how it will work.
That sounds thorough. Lots of detail needed up front.
Meticulous planning, yeah. Data gathering, defining the target state.
Okay, once the design is solid, part 2, implement the JIT system or improvements. This is where it gets real.
This is where the rubber meets the road, exactly. Now you're consulting again with all stakeholders, internal, maybe even external suppliers or customers, to iron out solutions for any potential issues. Because JIT affects the whole chain.
Right.
A critical piece here. Make sure everyone involved has the necessary skills. Training is often needed so people understand why and how JIT works.
Can't just drop a new system on people.
No way. Then you develop a clear implementation plan. Who does what, by when, And finally, you define how you'll measure success. What are the key GIT metrics you'll track? Set that baseline. It's about enabling the team, not just installing hardware.
Makes sense. Build the capability. And the last phase, part 3, monitor the JIT system. This feels like the ongoing part.
It absolutely is. Continuous improvement. You constantly monitor those key metrics you decided on. Are you hitting your targets? Getting better?
Checking the scoreboard.
Yeah. And you keep talking to stakeholders regularly. Get their feedback. They're the ones using the system. They'll know where the friction points are. Based on the data and that feedback, you identify areas that still need improvement. JIT is never really finished. It's a dynamic process of constantly tweaking and optimizing.
Always refining. So, wrapping this up, what does this all really mean for you listening? We've gone through the efficiency, the strategy behind just-in-time, from Kanban cards doing their dance to the simple power of pulling, not pushing. It seems clear that sometimes less really is more.
Definitely. Less inventory, less waste, less complexity often leads to more value. Lower costs, faster response, happier customers.
A more agile operation overall.
And if we zoom out, JIT isn't just for factories, is it? It's really a philosophy, optimizing flow, cutting out waste wherever you find it. Which brings us to a final thought for you to consider. How could applying these core ideas, delivering what is needed when it is needed, no more and no less, how could that change something in your own work or even your life that currently feels, well, too slow, maybe too much, or where you're always asking that question, where is it?
A powerful question to end on. Where could JIT thinking make a difference for you?